Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we're going to cover our favorite YieldMax ETF, MSTY, also known as MSTY, also known as the YieldMax ETF for the underlying MSTR. So we're going to go over MSTR, MSTY, and at the end, we'll have some bonus content on alternative ways you can also make solid income too. So first things first, let's go review how MSTY has been doing. And the performance has been a little bit losing steam, shall we say, since July, as has everything. But we had a really good day in the market yesterday. So let's review. Do this real quick. All right, so let's, here we go. There we go. Hey, welcome. First one. How was the trading this week, by the way? I'm going to go over mine. Still eked out some wins, but, it was a rough week. All right, so MSTY. Well, is MSTY the secret? Is it the answer to making us all wealthy? Well, let's review the share price as well, which, the consistent feedback from a lot of you is that, share price is really irrelevant. And it's all about the dividend payments, like an annuity. Although with annuities, I would say it's not quite an apples to apples comparison because you can either take a lump sum and then reinvest it, or you can just take payouts and then forget about what the actual principal is worth. But I will say the wealthy pay attention to the underlying balance, not just their payments. I know not everybody cares though. All right, so let's start here. We're just going to go to a custom date range from here to here. Here we go. Okay, so over the same time frame, comparing MSTY to, let's add MSTR, the underlying, which is also one of my favorite stocks. Let's do this for fun. Let's add another one, MSTU. This one's fairly new. Take out the S&P 500 for now. All right, how about this one? So the leveraged MSTU is not even outperforming MSTR, because this is the concept we would refer to as reversion to the mean. So monthly trades, what does that mean? I wish I could put the comments on display here. Add in Roundhill, a new kid. Which what's the ticker for that? Because I'm looking at the leveraged one. So the leveraged one, you'll see at one point it was like far outpacing even the underlying, but we have sort of, what they call constant returns to scale, or as you could refer to it, reversion to the mean, which can be a mean process, shall we say. So it was outperforming, and at some points it still has outperformed, but it keeps coming back because I think MSTR is just a really unreliable one. So of these three, in terms of price return, MSTY is by far the worst one. But again, we don't care about price. We just care about dividend payments. So if we look at this one, it still is the worst of the three that you could hold. But we're getting those dividends, right? So let's review that real quick, because these have been some epic dividends. We just $1.18 in July. If we go to dividend history here, we've had such a wide range. We've had them as high as 419, 442, and we've also had them as low as, I believe this was our lowest one. See, they're dropping because what's happening, little inconvenient fact here, but you all may notice, as much as we don't want to acknowledge it, the actual NAV, or the fund price, is declining. So what's happening, the more this fund price declines, see, we dropped below 17 last week. So little secret, the more that this fund price declines, the less the dividend's going to be. It's kind of like a chicken or egg thing. How are you going to run a company off Bitcoin and expect to outperform long term? Bitcoin will always outperform. That's true. We could look at the underlying Bitcoin as well. We got advanced chart here. What's the advanced chart? So advanced. Oh, it shows the dividends too. I like this actually, because you can see how the price responds to the dividends. So this isn't just a function of dividends. This is a function of the underlying as well. So you can see the dividends here. I feel like it seems like they missed one in October. That's weird. But you can see it's been declining over time. So this is also a function of MSTR, of course. So MSTR really hasn't dropped that much. Like compared to April, we had a big comeback July, we were at 450. Let's compare MSTR to Bitcoin since our buddy here just mentioned Bitcoin. Brandon E, that is. By the way, for those of you on, please remember to smash that like button. 2 thumbs way up. It helps the algorithm significantly. For those of you that decided to get up bright and early and start your day with the coach. It's rare for me to be doing a video this early on a Saturday, but got a busy day ahead of me. Okay, so let's get rid of this pesky S&P 500 because obviously dividend investors, we don't care about that. Bitcoin, we might care about Bitcoin. Okay, here we go. All right, so it is outperforming Bitcoin. You'll notice there's a significant correlation between the two, actually. But again, we have reversion to the mean. So as a whole, if we go to MSTY again, year to date, in terms of price return, percentage-wise, we had some really great spurts within the, oh, hold on here. Let me just go back to summary. Here we go. All right, so year to date, folks, we are actually down for the year. So that's important to note. Important little, maybe not so fun fact there. So 1 year performance, 26.81% down, 33.3% for MSTY versus MSTR. So the point is, we're getting one of our best dividend yields, but you can see underlying, if we factor the dividends out, they've moved in opposite directions for sure. And if we look over the last year, big difference here. When you get the compound growth of a growth stock, you really can't beat it. No matter how many dividends you get, can't beat it. So again, the takeaway, MSTY, you got 102% total return, which is phenomenal. A lot of assets don't do that within a year. And the fact that this is a dividend paying asset, I will reiterate, is absolutely amazing. But the underlying, you'll notice you're getting a better total return with the underlying, as is always the case. There hasn't been one example. There's been some with the 0 date to expiration ones where they come close. They may beat the underlying on a month basis, a very short-term time frame, but always, I don't even say almost always, but I say always, in the long run, the underlying is going to beat its dividend counterpart. So with that being said, how do we make money off of that? So what could we do better? Because I know, we like our dividends, we like our passive income, and that's fine for most of you. But some of us that took, income 101 and have kind of moved on to income 201 or the more advanced levels, we like to find more sophisticated ways of doing, making more streams of income ourselves. And for those of us that like to do that, we like to trade options. We like to do the wheel strategy, sell puts, sell calls, sometimes buy puts and calls. So I'm going to review now, since I've covered MSTY, I'm going to review now this last week's performance for my own accounts that I've done the wheel strategy in. And spoiler alert, I'm making more in these than I make with dividends. So I still, and I'll go over you all real quick, but I still have the dividend income. So if we look over here, I'm going to go over like where I am for the year. My dividend income is starting to drop, which is why I'm glad I'm doing other stuff. I've sold out of some of my stuff, but it's not consistent. So you can see here, the first 5 months of the year, it looked like we were rebounding. I was accustomed to about 4,800 per month, and now it's started to drop because Tesla is still my biggest high yield dividend holding. So we're down to 2,800, then 2,700. This month, we're supposed to have a couple hundred more. But you can see, if you were to do a trend line, it's a downward trend. Whereas last year, we made a full-time income trading dividends. So next 12 months, it doesn't forecast them very well because it's pretty much factored out all the YieldMax funds. As far as my holdings that pay dividends, we'll go over those real quick. I've got XYZ. Obviously, I've got Tesla in here. Let's see, where am I? Datadog, I've got a lot of high tie, but I wheel that. Basically everything in here. There's not much in terms of stock and ETF holding. This whole portfolio has basically become doing the wheel. So I've got leveraged ETFs. I've got Tesla, but it doesn't estimate the income anymore because it's so unreliable. I've got a lot of Tesla. I've got SMCX, Clip, XYZY, Misty, Coney. So Misty is one of my holdings, but I haven't bought any more because what I'm doing with basically all the income, and here's all the options I have open right here currently. I forgot I could just go to this tab actually. So I've got a call on NVIDIA that I'm playing earnings on. I've got another call on Datadog that I've sold. So that amount is it. That's what's left on the premium. That's the meat on the bone that's left. I'm going to buy that back very soon, probably next week. Chipotle, I've got one open there. High tie, I've got calls there. AMDL, I've got puts I've sold. CVWX, that was a dumb trade on my part, but I've got that one open. CONL, so it's all leverage ETF. So basically, folks, right now I've got, if you look at it, I've got $280,000 I could realize and put and call premium. So that's significant. With that being said, let's go over year to date. So I was able, despite the crazy week we had, I was able to actually add to my total this week. I added about $1,000 to the total over here. Once we review this, we'll go over Fidelity. So I'm going to do custom date range. I'm just going to do basically from the last week. So the last week includes the calls that I bought back from SMCX. So let's go here first. We're going to do a week. So this basically includes what I did this week, folks, $968 in premium. I was able to buy back an MSTU call, or 12 of them that I had from December. This was in the expiring in December. This was in the Roth IRA. There was still $400 left, but I went ahead and bought back and realized $968. So basically, I added another 1,000 to the total here. So this account's going to hit 200,000 this year, at least. Now, if we continue, going back to, I believe, last week, I closed out on the 15th. Calls I had open. And this is the beauty of the wheel strategy, because when SMCX fell, I was able to make money on the downside because I have calls that I've sold for the downside there. So you can see that was 12,149. I realized the majority of that one. And then with that, so I'm showing you, if you're not happy necessarily with your dividend, you can make more money trading options. Now I'm going to go over here to my Fidelity accounts. And this one, I was able to make 3,500 this week. So despite the rough week we had, I made about 4,500 still in options premium that I realized in 1 week. So this one, you can see I'm trading in 4 accounts here. We'll start with the health savings account. And for those of you that follow me closely, I gave you all a free trade that worked perfectly. This was half of my gain in this account, or these accounts. So I did the trade here in the health savings account. I was only able to do like 3 of them. So I made $98 here, or maybe it was just 1 in this one. And the Roth IRA, I did one on Rocket Labs that was a quick shot up. And then I wasn't able to close my TSLL puts. But then in the rollover one here, I made money on puts for NVIDIA because I did a put and a call. So I'm basically, when you do a put and a call, you're going to be right on one side, because the market can either go up or down. It's not going to move sideways. Every day it's going to either be up or down, either slightly up or down, or majorly up or down. So it turned out the put side worked out. I still have the call open. I'm still bullish on NVIDIA, of course. So I did this one, Rocket Labs, made almost 600 here. TQQQ, I closed out a call that I had open expiring in December. I went ahead and I'm like, you know what, $700, I'll take that one. And then TSLL, my big one, this was the one that worked out so well. So I sold 10 puts at $11 strike price expiring in December. And because the underlying moved so well, and yesterday was a great day for the market, I gained back a lot yesterday because the accounts did fluctuate quite a bit. But anyway, you can see there. So between these 3, this was 35, 34, 30 plus 994. So that's, basically, if you round up a little bit, 3,500. CONL, I haven't closed out. I'm still holding the bag on. I'm going to hold the bag. I may just get assigned. Luckily, most of the positions in the account expire in December. So I've got time but there's a couple of them that expire in September. I may just take assignment on that. But anyway, folks, thank you all so much for tuning in on this one. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and join the Discord. And when you join the Discord, remember to talk in the Discord too, because the more you talk, the better conversation we have. And again, reiteration, smash that like button, 2 thumbs way up, and we will see you all in the next one. CONL, I have it open basically in every account. It's a $30 strike, I believe. I'll just cover that real quick. It's a $30 strike that I have, and I think let me just double check real quick because I opened the same trade in like 4 accounts basically. But anyway, I'll just say this for you real quick, and then we will end the video. By the way, I need you to comment on my Discord more. No, I'm sorry, it was 50. I did some that are in the money already, some that are way out of the money. All right, that's going to do it. Take care, folks. Have a, what's this? How many wheels do you have going at one time? Well, it takes 4 wheels to run a car. So I have like 4 accounts. So that would give you a rough idea there. Anyway, like this optical illusion here, my window and my face as the sun rises. The sun rises means it's like for our investments, the sun is rising. We have a great future ahead of us. The future's so bright, I have to wear shades, which I'm going to be putting on soon. All right, so yeah, that answers that about the wheel. All right, folks, you got me for some bonus time. Take care, like, comment, and subscribe. Join Discord. We will see you all on the flip side. Bye.